guys, and welcome to another episode of Fresh Off the Shelves. If you're new here or you haven't watched any of my other Fresh Off the Shelves videos, this is basically where I dedicate a whole reading vlog to reading a new release that has recently come out. And today's a very exciting one because we have a new Freida McFadden release. I honestly don't know where Freida McFadden gets the time. First of all, I don't know where she gets time because she's literally like a brain surgeon, and I think she's releasing 4 books this year. 4 books! Where does she honestly get the time? And her most recent release came out in January, so literally not even that long ago. Amazed, honestly, amazed. So we have The Tenant. Also, can we just appreciate, this is the Works edition with the sprayed edge. You know by now we love a sprayed edge here, we love. And this one, I actually haven't read the blurb. I don't actually know anything about it other than it's called The Tenant. And I don't know whether that's kind of giving the housemaid vibes in a way. Because obviously we had the housemaid and she was living in the same house with that whole family that she was a housemaid for. So to me, it's kind of giving a similar vibe to that already. Obviously, I don't know the actual plot, and like I said, I haven't read the blurb, and I kind of want to keep it that way. I kind of want to go in not really knowing much, just so everything's a bit more of a surprise. So we're going to start this one today, together. I'm very excited, and I feel like it's been a while since I read a Freida. I mean, I started reading Brain Damage, and I think that was like a couple months ago. Maybe not even that long ago. But I actually DNF'd that book. So I have had a bit of a break from Freida. Just because the book before that as well was The Crash, which was her release in January, and I didn't absolutely love that book. So I was kind of taking a bit of a setback, a bit of a break from her books, but I'm very much ready to get into another one of hers. And I've also just come out of reading Pride and Prejudice. Very, very different. Very different going into this. My brain is honestly not gonna know what hit it. Going from like the language that is in Pride and Prejudice to this style of writing, it's not gonna know what's going on. But I feel like this is the perfect book to go into as a bit of a break from reading Pride and Prejudice. I'm hoping it's gonna be like a gripping plot, obviously. Obviously. But something that I literally don't want to put down. That's what I'm hoping for. Always. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling now and actually start this book. I'm literally on page 38 and already I'm like, I don't really like him. I don't really like him. He says some things that are not very likeable. Little update time. It's literally like 2 in the morning right now. Would you believe? But I thought I'd do a little update because I'm actually zooming through this book so far. I'm currently on page 156, which is chapter 28, so I'm nearly halfway through, and I'm actually really glad that I kind of sped through the first 100 or so pages because I did think it was kind of slow. Not necessarily slow because Freida McFadden's writing is very readable and very bingeable and has a certain pace to it. Just slow in terms of like, I didn't know where this book was going and I didn't know the plot of it. I know I said earlier on that I was going into this not having read the blurb or anything and just going into it literally not knowing the plot of it. So I think that might be part of the reason that I felt like that I was kind of waiting to grasp the actual plot. But ever since that's happened, it's very much picked up and I'm very much like, what is going on? Like, what on earth? We basically have Blake, and Blake starts off having lost his job and he's struggling to find a new job. So him and his girlfriend or fiance basically decide that they're going to take on a tenant to help pay the rent and everything. So they're basically renting out one of their rooms to a tenant. This tenant moves in and Blake starts to notice that certain things are happening in his life that kind of seem targeted towards him. And that part of it is actually really amusing to read and it just makes me giggle. Like, it is this man who literally cannot catch a break. cannot catch a break. And that I find very comical and very amusing to read. Just imagining that in my head, I'm just like literally sat here giggling. Because when I say it is literally one thing after another for this man, honestly. And that's basically all I can kind of say about the plot. I am very much sat here like, I have no idea where this is gonna go. Like, I have no theories or anything. I just have no idea. And I think because I'm reading it quite quickly, I don't really have as much time to sit and think about theories, which is quite nice in a way because I love to be surprised. And I would say I'm enjoying it more than I was enjoying The Crash. And I feel like more is happening, even though at the start I did say it's kind of slow. I think the reason that it felt like that was because we were literally following Blake, like going about his day-to-day life, and it was kind of setting it up. And I will say part of the reason for that is because I didn't read the blurb, like I said. So it was me trying to kind of figure out what the actual plot of the book was. I'm definitely enjoying it more than The Crash, because The Crash I was actually so upset. I was so upset I didn't like that because I really thought that I was going to. And like the whole concept of The Crash I thought sounded so good. I just didn't love it. I just didn't love it. And I found honestly in that one like nothing really happened. I mean stuff did happen, but it felt very much like we spent the whole time in one room pretty much. And the ending in that one for me felt very underwhelming and very not the sort of twist that I tend to enjoy. So that's why I didn't like that one. So I was kind of skeptical going into this one. Just because also after I read The Crash, I started reading Brain Damage as well, and that was the DNF for me. So I was kind of nervous. I'm happy that I'm enjoying it a lot more than those two. That's all. My little update. I am currently 162 pages in, so almost halfway. And I feel like I don't really have that much of an update. It's very amusing. I feel like that's the best word that I can use to describe it. It's just very amusing. It's basically following Blake going about his day-to-day life, but things are gradually getting worse and worse for him. And this man, when I tell you, he literally cannot catch a break. It's just one thing after another, and I can see from quite early on how Freedom McFadden has kind of set up these little things or these characters in his life that are already giving him some kind of trouble, and how they're then gonna come back later on and like make it 10 times worse for him. It's basically following him just spiraling. And things are just getting worse and worse for him, and he's convinced that the new tenant is basically behind everything, but he can't work out how she's doing it. That's basically the premise of this book. I think it's quite fun. It's very easy to read. Obviously it's Freedom McFadden, so the writing is just so easy to read, and I definitely find her books very bingeable, and I feel like it's been a while since I've had a book like that, I want to say. It's quite a bit later now, the same day but quite a bit later, and I'm literally 20 pages from the end of this book. I've literally binged read it like the whole day today, and I've essentially read it in one sitting. I mean, not really, because I was like 120 pages in, 150 pages in, something like that this morning. But the rest of this book I've literally read in one sitting. I just wanted to check in before the last 20 or so pages because I have a feeling that another twist is coming up, so I just want to get my kind of thoughts where I'm at right now reading this. The first kind of twist that's been revealed is one of those twists where it's just kind of like, what a coincidence. What a coincidence. And like, if I don't deep it too much, I'm like, oh yeah, it's fine. Like, I'm enjoying it, I'm having a good time reading it. It's fine, I'm just taking it for what it is. But if I really sit in deep, I'm like, that's so silly. That's so silly. Which I feel like quite a few of her books are like that, like they're just kind of unhinged, but not necessarily in a bad way. So we'll see. I do have some kind of theories or like an idea of how I think it's gonna end, but I'm also not sure. I mean, she could literally throw in anything at this point, so we'll see. But I'm gonna sit and read the last 20 or so pages now, and we'll see. Hopefully the ending doesn't disappoint, because I feel like Miss Frida always has quite strong endings with her books. At least all the ones that I've really, really enjoyed. They all have a really strong ending. I feel like I have questions. I feel like there's a lot of, not plot holes, but slight things that I'm like, well, why did she not just ask this? Or like, why? I I can't really say anything without ruining anything. But like, why are they not communicating in a normal way? Why are certain people not asking more questions? I'm on the epilogue. Oh. I only had 10 pages left. I literally had less than I thought I had left. Because the other is like a sneak peek for another one of her thrillers. Oh. I feel like maybe there's one too many coincidences there. But I had a fun time. So there's that. I'm gonna let it all sink in and I will catch up with you in the morning with my final rating and final thoughts and everything. Hello guys, as you saw last night I finished reading The Tenant by Freida McFadden and thoughts, okay. I think I said this before, but the best word that I can use to describe this book is just amusing. I was just amused. How many times have I said that word in this vlog? Probably so many. I just found it kind of funny with Blake as a main character and how he was kind of dealing with the fact that his life was going downhill and all the things that were happening to him. Like, you think that it can't get worse and then it does. As the kind of twists themselves, I kind of felt a bit underwhelmed by them, and I think a lot of that is purely because the twists were just very coincidental, if you know what I mean. They were just kind of, what a coincidence. What a coincidence that was. It wasn't kind of a logical explanation, it was just a mad coincidence, and I was kind of reading it like, yeah, right, okay. I would still recommend it, and I definitely way preferred it to The Crash. For rating, I've been trying to think of what I would rate this. I think it's somewhere around a 3 or a 3.5 stars. Maybe like 3.5, I want to say. I don't know. I will put my final rating on the screen as always. I'm still trying to mentally decide with that one. But it's somewhere around there, so middle of the ground for all the Freidas that I've read so far, I would say. That actually brings us to the end of another episode of Fresh Off the Shelves. I really hope that you've enjoyed watching this episode. As always, if you've made it to the end of this video, you're amazing. Leave a little star emoji down in the comments so that I know. I would also absolutely love to know if you read the new Freida McFadden book and your thoughts on it, your rating, everything. So let me know that as well in the comments. And thank you so much for being here, and I will hopefully see you in my next video.